Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. So I'm with Tay. I am Fantasia of the Aya Emporium, and today I'm just making a quick video for you guys to answer some more questions about my hand knit sweater cardigan situation. I have gotten a lot of questions about sizing, measuring, like how big to make them. So I'm hoping to make this a real quick video where I can give y'all some tips that maybe I didn't go into super detail when I was showing you how to actually hand knit the sweater. So I'm hoping that this will answer some of those questions about sizing and measurements. And yeah, okay, we're just gonna hop right into it. The first thing I'm going to explain or go over is body widths and body lengths. This is a sweater. Sweaters or knit garments tend to grow left and right, left up and down and left to right. So they're stretchy, so when they're hanging like up and down, they stretch up and down, and they stretch left to right. So when you're making your sweater, you want to kind of have an idea on how big you want it to be post growing or post stretching. So what I mean by that is I'm going to kind of demo on my form. When you're doing body lengths, there is a position on your body called the high point shoulder, which is right here. It's where your garment comes to the neck and your shoulder, the high point shoulder. If you're fortunate enough to have a form, there's usually a pin right there that tells you where your high point shoulder is. So, do I have a tape measure? Hold on. So, when you're deciding how long you want your sweater to be, you want to take your tape measure. You're going to put it right there at your high point shoulder, or you can put it on the form at the high point shoulder. You want to go over your bust, so it should be hanging over your bust or chest, and then straight down to determine how long you want it to be. If you want it to be a short cardi or a long cardi, that's your business. So for me, the cardis that I did make were mostly long, and I'm a short girl. So if I was to put my tape right here and go straight down to my ankle, I'm gonna get about 55 inches. You do not want to knit your sweater to 55 inches because it's going to be so much more longer, because these sweaters are heavy. So the more heavier, the more loftier it is, when you hold that sweater up, it's going to stretch and stretch and stretch, and now your 55 is going to be like 62, 63, and it's going to be dragging the floor. I like to use the rule of like 3 to 4 inches shorter, depending on what type of yarn you're using. If you're just using acrylic yarn, or if you're going fancy with like a chenille yarn or something like that, then you might have to test it out a little bit. So I mentioned to you guys before in my videos, I am not like a shmee subject matter expert of hand knitting. I just learned how to do it, and I just made a video of it, and you guys love it. So when you're knitting, you're supposed to count rows and stitches. I'm horrible at counting rows and stitches because my trade is cut and sew fashion, so I work with measurements. So if I wanted to make a 55 on body length cardi, I personally am probably going to go to like 50, because I know it's going to stretch, and the longer it gets, the heavier it's going to be, the more it's going to stretch. So I probably would do like 50. And as I am knitting, because you knit, you start at the bottom, as you knit up, I will take my tape measure and measure. Okay, I'm at 10 inches. I need 40 more inches. Okay, a couple more rows. I'm at 15 inches. I need so many more inches of rows need to be knit. That's personally how I did it. So you want to account for the fact that your garment is going to grow when you put it over your body, and I will give you an example of that so you can see it. The other part of the measurement is body widths. So when you take your body circumference, I like to say use your hip. These sweaters are chunky and kind of oversized, so we're going to use my girl here as an example. She is about 47. When you measure her or yourself, you want to make sure your tape is level. You don't want your tape to be dipping. You don't want it down like that. You want to make sure that it is level. She's 47. This yarn that I'm using, which is just like an acrylic yarn, it stretches a lot left to right. Like, you have a lot of give in here, a lot of stretch. So when you're determining how wide you want to be, that's the hip for your entire body. But remember, when we're hand knitting, you have 3 panels. You have your back, you have your left front, and you have your right front. So you need to divide your hip in half. So if you want to do 50 inches, so it's a little bit oversized, your back end to end when you're hand knitting is going to be 25. But remember, it's going to stretch left to right. So you might want to do like 23. And then when you do your front panels, you would divide 23 in half so that the panels are evenly the same width at the front that they are at the back. So remember that we're making a big rectangle. So from the hem up to your shoulders is a rectangle. The width is going to be half of your low hip minus 2 to 3 inches to accommodate for your fabric stretching. For your length, depending on how long you're going, if you're going longer, I would say you can go even as far as 4 to 5 inches. So if you're doing a 50-inch, 55-inch on body sweater, you need to make sure that your panel measures flat on the table or the floor 50 inches. So there you have your widths and you have your lengths. These Cardi sweaters are a matter of putting rectangles together. So you just want to make sure that your front 2 panels and your back are the same length and combined width of each other so that your sweater is even front to back, and then the sleeves is a whole different situation. When you do your sleeve, because this is a square, you have to think about if you're going to do, what did we say, 23? That 23 at your hem is going to go all the way up to your shoulder, 23 inches. 23 inches is a little bit drop shoulder. When you're doing your sleeve length, if you're doing a full sleeve, your plan is to measure from your center back here. Take my tape to show you. You're going to put that tape right there at your center back, down to your shoulder, and then you would measure down to your elbow and then down to your wrist. And that's hard to show on here because she doesn't have arms, but for yourself, if you want to see how long you want it to be, center back, down to your shoulder, then down to your elbow. Sorry if I can flip my tape. Down to the elbow here, and then down to your wrist. And my tape is a little flippy, but I'm at about 28. So say you're going for a 28 sleeve length. Remember, this sleeve is going to stretch. You already have 23 inches at your shoulder because your back panel is a rectangle. So you have 23 inches. If you divide that in half, because we're measuring from our center back, you have 11 and a half. If I'm doing math right, yes, you have 11 and a half. So it is 11 and a half inches from your center back basically to your shoulder. So you have to take that 11 and a half and take it away from 28. So you'll get what? 117 or whatever length from here to here. But remember, it's going to grow, so maybe your sleeve length only needs to be like 15. So take off 2 inches because it's a shorter piece. It's not like a super long piece that's being knitted because of the way that we, you know, put together our sweater if you watch the previous videos. So you want that 17-inch square, so you have 11 and you have 17, and you want it to accommodate for it to grow. So that's how you kind of figure out those methods. And I'm hoping that that's clear, and you can make the sizes whatever you want to based on, like, if you're making it for someone else. I think the math of 2 inches or 3 to 4 inches for reducing body lifts for this, and then like 4 to 5 inches for length if you're making a longer one. If you're making a shorter one, it's less weight because there's less yarn. Maybe 2 to 3 inches. If you're doing like a little shrug, 28 inches, I would do that at like 25, and it will probably grow to be about 28 inches. So hopefully that is clear. Let's get into this guy. So this is a little blanket that I made in my hand knit blanket class. It's just a little throw situation. I have this in here that I'm going to kind of demo on for you guys. So I'm measuring this, no stretch, nothing like that. And this here is like roughly 32, 33 inches. I am going to take my girl. I am going to just pin her at her high point shoulder. So here, she's hanging. You can't see all of her. She's hanging here. See if I can shift my camera a bit. There we go. So she's hanging here. This is our front. Say this is the front end of our cardi. Take your tape measure. Put it at the high point shoulder where we pinned it. This is hitting at about 36. So you can see how we went from like 32 and a half, 33 till about 36. This is growing on the body about 3 inches. And if you're a visual person just like me, let's just do it this way. Oops, sorry for knocking the camera. So here we have our back. We have right front. And we have left front. Let's say our hip is 50. And the length we want is 55 on body. So we're going to take our little hip, we're going to divide it in half. So this should measure, well, our goal here is 25 inches, but we know that this is going to stretch left to right. So we're going to make you 23 inches. 25 is half of the 50. So this is going to be 23 inches. So this one and this one at the bottom need to be the equal of this, because when they're put together it's going to be like that on the other side. So we're going to say 11 and a half here. Oh yes, 11 and a half there. So this is what the widths would be using this example. For your length, you want this on body to be 55, but you know something that's 55 inches is going to stretch a lot on the body. So maybe we're going to do 5 inches shorter. So when we're knitting, we're going to measure our garment from here to here. Down here is our hem. This is our shoulder. We're going to do 50 inches. And the way I track this is as I'm knitting, I stop, measure. Okay, I'm at 10 inches. I knit some more. Okay, this is another 10 inches. I knit some more. Okay, I'm about 5 inches away. Knit some more until I get to 50 inches right there. And I do the same thing for the front on both sides. When we get to the sleeve, we know that your sleeve is measured from center back, which is right there, and it's from here to here. So this is 23, so this here is 11 and a half, or it should be. But your sleeve wants to be 28 inches. So we know for our sleeve we need to add another 17-ish 17-ish inches. And sorry, I'm running out of space here. So we have 11 and a half here. We know we were trying to get to 28. So we're going to be adding on our sleeve like I showed you guys in the previous videos. We know we need to get to 17.5, but we know that this is going to stretch this way. So, and it will also stretch this way. However wide you want this to be is kind of up to you. If you want your sleeves to be lower or higher, I like to use the number 12 for this width here, but you can go as far as 10, or you can go a lot lower. That's kind of how you want it to fit. I think maybe 9 is the minimum I would go for this width here, which is the bottom of your sleeve to where your shoulder is. But back to the length of the sleeve, I would take off maybe 2 inches and make this 15.5. And sorry, my handwriting is crazy because I'm doing this sideways. So this would be 15.5. This is our back here, which is all one piece, for a total of 23 inches. But we know we measure our sleeve from center back. So from here to here on body should be about 28 inches for me. Hopefully my little doodle helped. These are your hems. These are your shoulders. This is how you figure out the length. These are our 3 widths. And then you just knit the way I showed you in previous videos. So I hope that was clear. I know I got a lot of questions about how big and how to do them. And I feel like maybe I didn't go over that in the previous videos. So please let me know how I did. Let me know if you have any more questions. Y'all know I'm here to help. I want y'all to have these chunky sweaters just like I do. So thank y'all so much for watching. And if y'all have any questions again, put them in my DMs, put them in the comments. I will respond. I try to like and comment something to every comment that is sent to me, because I appreciate you guys for making my hand knit videos like 20,000 views. I was shocked. I wish I can get my regular sewing videos up there, but I'm still working on it. So I appreciate y'all for being here, for being inquisitive, to saying how much this helped or didn't help. Didn't help. But until next time, y'all. Bye.